It's Superhero Day. We have two big trailers that dropped, one for DC, one for Marvel. And because of that, your boys here at Quality Check's like, let's go ahead and talk about them. So we have Superman, the first full official 3-minute trailer for Superman, giving us a glimpse of what it's like. And we've got Ironheart coming to Disney Plus. Drew, what do you think about it? You watched it, it dropped.
3 minutes.
It's a lot.
Now, this is the first real glance. We had a teaser, which was highlights essentially, and James Gunn said, well, you haven't seen anything yet. You
Right.
really haven't seen anything yet. And then we get this trailer, and my first reaction was it's so nice to get a serious take on Superman that is in grim and depressing as hell. 100% this looks fantastic to me. I'm surprised at some of the hate that I've seen on the internet.
Yeah.
The world feels bright, optimistic. It seems like Gunn knows what Superman is.
Yeah.
And he's someone that is fighting for everyone, fighting for what's right. I have a few little concerns that I'll bring up, but what do you think?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. As soon as this started, I love the banter between Lois and
Mm-hmm.
Clark, or as she's interviewing him as Superman. I thought that was a really interesting take, a really cool way of really grounding this and making it seem now, from what we see in this trailer, of making Superman timeless, dealing with, yeah, you could have these universal issues or problems, but also the wholeheartedness of what Superman is and what he believes is bleeding through this. And I loved it. I am so ready. I'm more and more excited. I shared this trailer with you and I shared it with my family. I kind of want to see this with my family, to be honest.
One thing I love too, and when Gunn initially said it, it sounds silly. It's that his Clark's parents live in a converted double wide trailer, and you hear that and you're like, and then you see it, and I'm like, I do kind of miss the imagery of a traditional farmhouse.
Hmm.
But then the idea is Clark came from humble beginnings. And I think back to the very first image we got of Clark is the one where he's literally strapping on his boots. I
Hmm.
just love what Gunn is doing with this.
Hmm.
Some concerns I have. I don't want this has always been before we saw footage. We know there's going to be a lot of heroes in this.
Yeah.
Is it too many heroes? I don't want to take away from a good Superman story with side characters.
I am reluctantly optimistic. I do think that the idea with that is that we end up seeing those other superheroes because the world's established through this idea that they
Mm-hmm.
are just here on Earth, that we are living among superheroes or these superpowered beings. And as of right now, I can understand your concerns. I'm not too worried about it. I think Gunn sometimes that's his best work, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it gets in his way as well because he ends up leaning too heavily on some of these quirks and the weirdness of like these team ups and things like that.
The
Yeah.
other thing is there's no clear cut villain. I have
Mm.
theories about what I think is going to happen, but it does look like he is facing off against a series of threats
Hmm.
that I'm assuming Lex is throwing out there.
Yeah, that's my guess
So,
too.
will that's an interesting approach for
Hmm.
something like this, where it's building obviously to something. Maybe they're totally keeping a lot of this under wraps,
Yeah.
but I am intrigued and maybe a little cautious about do we have a legit threat by the end of this movie that he's going to square off against?
I'm sure. I bet we do.
So 100% loves. I think Corn
Hmm.
Smith looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
I think we're leaning into stuff that Snyder did in terms of being cautious about this all powerful being. Only we're doing it through the lens of someone with a more positive outlook,
Yeah.
especially in Metropolis. Like it's
Yeah.
supposed to be bright and vibrant, and I think we're going to get that with this.
I agree. And this is something that has been, again, I double down and say that for me, what was missing in the Snyder Superman, I think we're getting here. And I'm talking about like that throwback, like what I grew up knowing, loving Superman. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that Snyder version. It just wasn't, it just didn't hit a lot of those things that I think Gunn is hitting here. So we're getting after Daredevil Born Again. The MCU is hitting again on Disney Plus. They're trying. They're looking for. They need a hit with Ironheart. This is going to be the second time we see Riri Williams after Black Panther Wakanda Forever. She's getting her own show. What do you think about how Ironheart looks?
I This feels like there's 6 episodes. They're dumping 3 at once.
Hmm.
I don't know. Where do I go? How do I start this? I don't think this necessarily looks bad. Just I'd rather have Iron Man, and we're getting these like successors, which they're very quick to say, well, she's not a successor to
Yeah.
Tony Stark. Well, you're literally doing everything that he did and saying that it's better when it's actually not.
You know, you touched on something with it being the successor to Iron Man, and that they're leaning so hard into that with the trailer, but then also that video teasing, hey, this is the character. Now, I don't know anything about Ironheart. I have no idea really who she is. When we got Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and you were talking about the character, and we were preparing for that show, doing research, I learned more about her during that time than I actually knew about her before the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we get a deeper look at the character, I'm actually more excited because leading up to this, my interest level was pretty bottom of the barrel. I'm going to say my expectations, my optimism for seeing anything, like I don't care. I just don't care. I'm to that point with Disney Plus stuff where now you have to prove to me it's good to watch it because I've been burned like everyone else so many times. But watching this trailer and Ryan Coogler and other producers talk about it, it does give me more, it builds that hype. But I have to go into this extremely reluctant, knowing what we've received in the past.
What would you so if Superman was a big fat loves, you would say loves for
This
this as
is
well?
this is a reluctant loves. And I say that because of being burned with Disney Plus in the past on the Marvel shows. So reluctant loves.
I would say that I'm going to agree with you because I don't think this looks terrible. I'm intrigued enough from the Wakanda Forever introduction,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go in assuming that I mean, it's going to be the opposite of Daredevil Born Again, where I went into that going, I will be shocked if this is bad. I'll go into this one being like, I'll be shocked if this is good, but I don't think it
True.
looks terrible. So maybe over the course of 6 episodes, I can be entertained.
That's all I'm
Who
asking for.
who knows at this point?